Sport has the power to build strength and confidence, heal, inspire, and bring communities together. This is Level Playing Field.
Hello and welcome to Level Playing Field. I'm your host, Greg Westlake. Later in the show, we meet a woman working to make parasport more financially accessible in her community. But first, we crash and bang with Canada's wheelchair rugby team. After losing the bronze medal match at the 2016 Paralympics, the team went through some drastic changes. Several veterans retired, leaving holes in a once stable roster. But it also created opportunity. An opportunity for new athletes to fill that void and live their Paralympic dream.
I have a little bit of an attitude, I don't know if you can tell, but I'm kind of one of those dudes where you tell me I can't, I won't, or I'm not allowed to. I'm gonna do it, I'm gonna do it better than you, and I'm gonna laugh at you while I'm doing it.
With that defiant attitude, Shayne Smith has been working toward one goal for most of his life.
A lot of these guys got injured later in life. For me, I have been in a chair and an amputee since I was 4 months old. So since I was 7, playing sledge hockey, Paralympics has been my lifelong dream, right? Some of these guys might have had dreams of NHL, NBA, whatever. For me, it's always been Paralympics.
It started with hockey, but eventually Shayne pursued his dream with wheelchair basketball for 17 years, including 8 with the Canadian junior team.
And as I got older, I kind of just fell out of love with the sport. You know, you do something for so long every day, it's bound to happen, right? And I was going through some other mental health issues as well. So falling out of love with the sport while dealing with the mental health issues, I'd been considering retiring from the sport for a few years. So I left and I retired from basketball.
Shayne's decision to walk away led to some deep soul searching.
And I had to reevaluate myself, reevaluate my goals, reevaluate my life dream. And then this opportunity came up and I made the team and I was like, oh my goodness, Paralympics is an opportunity that might be there.
The dream keeps getting closer and closer. Earlier this year, Team Canada qualified for the Tokyo Paralympics, but management won't choose the final 12-person roster until 2021. So for now, Shayne and the other 14 athletes in contention still have a lot of work to do to survive the final cut. And it's team camps, like the one we visited in Dorchester, Ontario, where players try to showcase everything they bring to the table.
The oldest rookie on the team, yeah. I don't feel anywhere near my age, so it is what it is, I guess. I just gotta roll with it.
At 41 years old, you might think that Rodrigues-Furtado Rodrigues missed his window to compete in his first Paralympic Games. You'd be wrong. Like Shayne, he's very much in contention. But unlike Shayne, his introduction to parasports came much later in life.
Wheelchair rugby was introduced to me in a rehab hospital. I was completely unable to do anything on my own, and somebody threw me a DVD and popped it in and said, check this out. I was like, holy cow, this is bananas. Like, these guys are doing stuff that I can probably never imagine myself doing. So I was like, okay, well, this is a good goal. Let's strive for this. Let's check it out and see if we can do it. And 8 months later, I was in my first rugby chair and haven't stopped ever since. Absolutely love at first sight. It was cool to see, like, you're in such a fragile state, you're hooked up to machines, you don't see yourself smashing into other chairs or getting flipped over and bounced around. And when you see that happening, you're like, whoa, okay, that's possible. What else is possible?
That was in 2009. 11 years removed from his snowboarding accident, Eric knows it's possible to live your dream, if you put in the work. Over that time, he's also come to appreciate the sport on a different level.
I love the fact that it's not just 4 guys smashing into 4 guys. There's thinking, there's positioning on court. It's kind of like, if this, then that. It's like a chess match going on with violence.
Shayne also appreciates the tactical side of the sport, but for him, it was the collisions that solidified his love of the game.
One of my first games was in Vancouver, and I got hit from behind, which is the one hit that we're really not supposed to do. And I was going full speed on a breakaway, and she hit me from behind on my back wheel, spun me out, and I cracked some ribs. And that was the moment where I was like, yep, this needs to be my job for the rest of my life. I love the sound. I thought the sound of a ball going through the hoop was amazing. There's nothing like two chairs crashing together.
That sound caught my attention too. So when Shayne, someone I've known for years from the parasport world, asked me to join him for a training session in Toronto, I jumped at the opportunity to strap into a chair and experience it firsthand. But before I joined the scrimmage, we chatted courtside while his training partners warmed up. Not sure how I'm looking in this chair, but I'm excited to try the sport.
You look great. You look great.
Okay, I appreciate it. Tell me a bit about your specific role on the team.
Yeah, so, because I don't really have great hands.
Okay.
My passing's not fantastic.
Okay.
So really, my role on this team, I'm here for defense. When we need some stops, when we need to keep a lead, protect a lead, I'm there for energy and I'm there for defense. I'm there to hit people, get in their face, and, you know, kind of be annoying. Good. Which you've known me for a long time. You know that's not hard. So, you know, basketball taught me a lot of chair skills, and I've brought a lot of the pick and rolls and the seals and all that stuff over to rugby for sure.
That's awesome, man. So are you happy now you're settled with the rugby team? Do you feel like you finally found your calling in sport?
The best decision I ever made for me in my life was leaving basketball to come play rugby.
Nice. So you got the motivational speaking going. You're the energy guy here on the court.
Yeah.
You put the clamps on defense.
Yeah.
You meet a young child with a disability. They want to get into sport. What's your advice for them?
Not to allow your disability, or not to let other people who think you have a disability hinder you from doing what you want to do. Right? When I first started wheelchair basketball, a lot of people told my mom and the coach not to let me play because I only had half a hand, and that I was never going to be able to shoot the ball. I was never going to be able to push as fast as everybody else. I spent 8 years on the World Junior team, right? You know your limitations better than anybody else. Don't let anybody else ever put any kind of label or limitation on you. You are going to succeed. You just need to decide, not that you want to, but that you're going to.
Advice I took to heart as Shayne prepared me to play.
So what we're gonna do, you're gonna brace yourself with one hand.
Great.
And protect the ball with the other. So put one hand on the wheel to keep that, and the other hand protecting the ball, all right? So that way, when I'm coming in for that hit, you don't lose the ball.
Yikes. After shaking off that hit and learning more of the fundamentals, I joined the game. And while I may have struggled off the start, my bad. Where's my cover? Oh, that guy is so fast. It's so hard to get a good hit out here. They're so much faster than me. I don't know who's on my team. Eventually, I got the hang of it, setting up my teammates to score.
All the way, all the way, all the way. Nice job, Greg, nice pass.
And even taking a few across the goal line myself.
Nice, Greg, attaboy.
Woo! I had a lot of fun on the court, but two things stuck out to me. First, it's really tiring sprinting up and down that court in a wheelchair. Second, to succeed, you need to rely on your teammates. So I asked Shayne about his before we called it a day. Tell us a bit about your team. Are you young? Are you old and experienced? Are you energetic? You know, what kind of team are we going to see play?
It's awesome. We're a great mixture of young, energetic, and older, energetic.
Okay.
Family is a big piece of our team. We all get along on the court. We all get along off the court. It's really an incredible team dynamic. I've been playing wheelchair sports since I was 8. I'm 31. This is the best team I've ever been a part of.
More to come on Level Playing Field. You're watching Level Playing Field.
Sport Explained. Wheelchair Rugby. Wheelchair rugby is a full-contact sport where men and women compete on the same team. The object of the game is to carry the ball across your opponent's goal line. The ball carrier must have firm control of the ball when two of their wheels cross the goal line for a goal to count. There are two variations of rugby wheelchairs. offensive and defensive. Offensive chairs are used by players with more function and are designed for speed and mobility. They contain a front bumper to prevent defenders' wheelchairs from hooking and slowing their progress. Defensive chairs are most often used by players with less function and have bumpers designed to better hook and impede opponents' progress, limiting their chances to score. The sport is played on a standard basketball court, 28 meters long by 15 meters wide. A center line divides the court lengthwise. Two sidelines mark the out-of-bounds area on the left and right, and the end lines do the same at the top and bottom of the playing surface. An 8-meter wide goal line, centered in each team's defensive zone on the end line, is used for scoring. Pylons are used to mark the ends of the goal line. Extending the 8-meter width of each team's goal line is a 1.75-meter deep key area. Like a regulation volleyball, a wheelchair rugby ball has a circumference between 65 to 67 centimeters and weighs 260 to 280 grams. Each team has up to 12 players, with 4 players on the court at any time. For competition, your functional level is graded with a number ranging from 0.5 to 3.5. Teams cannot exceed a combined number of 8 on the court at any given time. The game consists of 4 8-minute quarters, and the team with the most points at the end of the game wins. Now you're ready to crash and bang.
I'm Greg Westlake, and that was Sport Explained. Before the break, we met 2 athletes on the verge of reaching their first Paralympics with Canada's wheelchair rugby team. Now, we meet a veteran, helping them integrate into the squad and reach their full potential. Eric and Shayne are 2 prime examples of the post-Rio influx of talent ready to exploit the vacancies left by retirements. But in a team sport like wheelchair rugby, you can't succeed alone. You need all 12 athletes pulling in the same direction. And to do that, especially when you have new teammates, you need strong leadership.
When you make this team, it's a team that you know is going to be around for hundreds of years, just because it has a core. The foundation's so strong with Canada wheelchair rugby, so strong.
44-year-old Mike Whitehead is a big part of that foundation. He has represented Canada at the last 4 summer games and shows no signs of slowing down. In fact, he's getting faster. Something that has caught the eye of his head coach at Wheelchair Rugby Canada, Patrick Cote.
Best shape of his life, his power is up, his speed is up, his overall fitness is up. Now he plays full games and he's not tired. I guess it started from self-driven desire. I'm not going to be happy with being on the sideline or in and out. He wanted to be on court at 32 minutes. He asked me what it would take. I told him it was still his decision to take action or not. He did.
The game's fast, the kids are fast. You know, there was a few slaps in the face where we had some finishes that, you know, weren't so great, and I'm looking at myself at the screen and I'm like, God damn, that doesn't look like a national team athlete. It looks like kind of an old chubby dude. I just had to dial some things and make some changes, and the results came fast. And speed is what it's about. I have the novelty now on the court to do things that I haven't done before. And yeah, the guys have fun with it.
His teammates might like to tease him about being quicker than ever, but his evolution also serves as an example to those coming up. If you want to play, you need to work. A clear message. His leadership doesn't end there though. Mike is always willing to go the extra mile to ensure new players feel supported.
He enjoys taking on that mentorship responsibilities. He's good at it, he knows he's good at it, super patient, likes to engage in those discussions. I think he really enjoys being around younger players. They remind him why he's there in the first place.
I have the novelty of wearing a few hats, right? I get to act like a kid, and they just like, look at this guy, he's coming up on 50 and he's acting 12. And I can play a bit of the mentor role hat too, and which is good. I've enjoyed that part.
That added purpose for the veterans is perfectly exemplified in the relationship between Mike and Shayne Smith.
It's about building trust and building a relationship. And when that's in place, then I can have some of those harder conversations with him. I can say things that maybe I wanted to say to him in the first year rooming with him, but it took 2-3 years. You know, it's like whipped cream and crap. You know, he's been getting a lot of whipped cream, but lately I would give him some crap. And he's responded well. I think we built a nice base of some good trust. Yeah, he's a great guy. So a bright future.
I don't have a great relationship with my dad. He's kind of in and out of my life. And Mike has 2 kids of his own, and he's really taken on that role of being a dad to me. And I know if I'm ever down, in trouble, whatever, I can count on calling Mike and having those hard conversations that a son needs to have with his dad. And, you know, for the first time in my life, I feel like I really have that positive male role model who, good or bad, he's always gonna have my back, but he's also gonna be the first one to put me in my place if I need to be, right?
While Shayne and Mike's bond is unique, even in his 40s, Rodrigues-Furtado Rodrigues has benefited from the veteran leadership on the team.
Most of the low pointers have taken me under their wing and kind of showed me what's lacking in my game and where I need to improve, and also what I'm good at, and kind of push me to be better. I think everybody's been pretty good at nudging me in the right directions.
The nudges have helped, but he's also put in the work, on the court and also in the video room. As a low pointer or someone with less physical function, Eric can't rely on athletic ability alone.
As a low pointer, you're like the slowest guy on the floor, but you need to be almost the smartest guy. And I've seen him put the work in. He's a student of the game.
Tactical and technical progression are it's actually off the charts. Definitely his biggest asset. Yeah, he's a workhorse.
It's nice to be recognized for not only being able to catch and pass a ball, but know where to be, when to be there. It's a big compliment. I take pride in the work I put in because it's not as easy for someone with less function to gain the muscle mass or the speed or the distance on passes. We put in so much work and so much time, and we see such small increments in the results as opposed to someone with more muscles or more function. So yeah, I take pride in that.
And he's a gamer. I like being on the floor with Eric in big games because he's a competitor. In a gold medal game and a medal game where it's like, oh, I didn't know you had that in you. That's fun to see.
And with the team qualified for the Paralympics next summer, there is a great chance Mike will get to see Eric and Shayne in big games soon.
Scrimmage, baby! Let's go!
As long as we work as a cohesive unit and we play our game that we've been preparing for over the last 3 years, 4 by the time Tokyo comes around, we will be in a perfect position to achieve success.
We are going to peak in Tokyo. Band's still tuning.
Firmly believe that the program on any given day can be anybody in the world.
We are trending in the right direction. We're gelling and we're taking our strengths and making them even stronger. And we are not going to be stopped.
Peaking at the right time is vital to success in a short tournament like the Paralympics. The team seems ready, and I'm excited to see them on the court in Tokyo. Now we take a break, but stay with us because when we return, we get to know the woman behind RAD, Recreation Adapted Society.
Level Playing Field will return. Welcome back to Level Playing Field with Greg Westlake.
Outdoor adventurer Tanelle Bolt loves being active. And as the founder of her own charity, she's doing her best to ensure others have the equipment they need to get moving as well.
Yeah, a whole day of biking is gonna be so much fun.
You can hear the joy in Tanelle's voice when she's on the hand cycle. And while she's on the trails of Maple Ridge, BC today with a friend, one of the things she likes best about the activity is the freedom it provides.
It's something I can do independently. As long as there's a proper trail set up, I can put it in my own vehicle, I can drag it out of my own vehicle, and I can get into the thing and go for a bike ride.
Only she can't go cycling whenever she wants, for one important reason.
Cost. The cost is definitely a great big barrier for anybody with a mobility challenge to get equipment, not just a bike.
She's not kidding. Used hand cycles start around $1,500, and if you want a new one, expect to fork over $4,000. But the problem isn't unique to paracycling, and Tanelle would know.
I've taken up every sport I can possibly do as a paraplegic.
But as the financial toll of engaging in outdoor sports added up for her personally, Tanelle was looking for ways to help the larger community, eventually leading to the creation of her charity, RAD, Recreation Adapted Society.
The idea started in my head as soon as I hurt myself because there wasn't anybody offering me equipment or a means to go and do the outdoor recreation things that I use to cope mentally with everything inside.
So in 2017, RAD was born to fill a void and rent adaptive sports equipment. Over the past 3 years, other businesses have entered the market, but Tanelle doesn't see them as competition. She sees a way for RAD to evolve and still stay true to its ultimate goal.
We need an umbrella organization that they let us know what's going on. They tell us the new things that are happening. So that would be what RAD Society is on the path to do. But it all is focused on inclusion in recreation.
With that goal in mind, Tanelle has developed relationships with many organizations across BC, including Bear Mountain Golf Resort in Victoria, which owns 2 highly coveted assistive sport devices called the Paragolfer. With the flick of a joystick, the electric wheelchair-like unit transitions the golfer from a seated position to a standing posture to take a swing. Tanelle has helped publicize the unit's existence to the local disability community with great success. And it's another piece of equipment she loves to use herself, even if it's just practicing her short game on the in-house putting green.
Just the longevity of independence is huge. You know, now I sit at 33 years old and still striving for independence in everything I do. And this is, you know, one of the pieces of equipment that allows me to stay there and be there until I age out of it or I don't want to do it anymore, but at least it's an option.
It's that same feeling of independence that keeps Steve Bertrand coming back to the course. But it was Tanelle's advocacy that exposed him to the game initially.
Oh, there it is. There it is. Oh, if I was able-bodied, I'd just blow it into the hole for you. I can't lean down that far.
It can be difficult sometimes to surround yourself with positive people, and to have her be so energetic and so passionate about a project like the RAD Society and the Paragolfer and getting people out active, it's contagious.
Everybody says in golf, hey, Tanelle, what's your handicap? I say T6 paraplegic.
Steve is clearly compelled by Tanelle's enthusiasm, but he also appreciates the freedom RAD has given him and others in the community.
It's an opportunity for individuals that want to go and do sport without having to necessarily be attached to a giant organization or do a big event. You can just grab a piece of equipment with some buddies, you can go on the golf course, you can go hiking, you can grab one of the recumbent bikes.
And helping people experience that kind of freedom is exactly why Tanelle continues to fight for accessibility and inclusion across British Columbia. And while she is focused on her home province for now, she has advice for anyone looking to get active.
Just be kind and put it out there that you want to get involved. And a lot of people with mobility challenges, if you find them on social media and they have an account that you can see, you'll get a message back. We all want to support one another and make sure everybody stays as healthy as they can, as long as they can, because that's one of the main things that happens is you just start collecting cobwebs in the corner, and if you're not outside dusting them off. Run, run, run. If you make go noises, do you go faster?
Tanelle's such a great advocate for the disability community. If you want to learn more about her, check out her recent TEDx talk online. And if you want to take advantage of some of the amazing equipment RAD has for rent or donate to the charity, head to radsociety.ca. What a great show. If you want to catch up on previous episodes of Level Playing Field, you can find them by visiting AMI.ca. I'm Greg Westlake. Thanks for watching.
Host Greg Westlake, segment producer Johanna Ryan, videographers Matthew McGurk, Sergio Vera Barahona, additional camera Brian Roy. Editor Andrew Pickup. Integrated Describe Video Specialist Simone Cupid. Audio Producer, Composer, and Engineer Mike Monson. Graphics Andrew Antonello, Mike Smith. President and CEO David Arrington. Copyright 2020, Accessible Media Inc.